Okay, what are we doing here, Frou?
Well, the ballad of the Crystal Cowboy is about to materialize.
Oh, right.
Come gather round, friends, and I'll sing you a song. You might think that it's strange, you might think it's too long. Ain't that a young cowpoke who didn't know how folks to rope or rhyme? And instead of 2 6-gun pistols, he carried 2 giant quartz crystals in a holster from his side. And they called him the Crystal Cowboy. He came from Santa Cruz. His blanket, it was tie-dye, and he never wore no shoes. He rounded up them bogies on a mountain lake named Joe, and his crystals cast a rainbow light. Most every walk he'd go. Now one evening at dusk, while the dogies all moved, he pedaled into camp and he hollered, "Yo, dudes!" Well, smoking old drover, trembling all over, you could see him blanch. Said, "As sure as I am an old rounder, the only dudes you'll find around here are yonder down on the Jude Ranch." Well, he said to the boss man, "Will you take me on? I'm financially challenged, my money's all gone. And dude, you can bet it, you sure won't regret it," he said with pride. "'Cause you know I can pay fast, sir. I can channel past spiritual masters and cook a mean mess of beans on the side." Boss said, "I don't know about that spiritual stuff, but I'll hire you on if you cook good enough." He gave him a skillet, he said, "Take this and fill it with something good. But I'll warn you, we take out too serious. Our last cook's death was mysterious. Made biscuits that tasted like wood." Well, he set to and he cooked up a mess of stir fries, the likes of which never been ate by them guys. There was tofu, zucchini, sauce from tahini, some lentil sprouts, all lightly sauteed in canola. For dessert, he made crunchy grouse and herb tea to finish things out. One ornery old cowpoke spoke up to our lad. "Young feller, I reckon that grub don't look bad, but it could use some shiitake, maybe some sake, some beef, lost. And we'll see some mean cowpokes get meaner if you don't add some more spirulina or wheatless tamari soy sauce." Now these rounders had scarcely sat down to their feet when the boss hollers, "Look out, here comes a stampede." Now this new cook was sure glum when he saw that bird come like an angry mob, 'cause he feared that they all would be trampled before his fine meal could be sampled, and it just might cost him his job. But our Santa Cruz cowboy knew just what to do, and out of his holster his crystals he drew. He held up each crystal a mystical symbol above his head. So magically then the herd parted, though from the dust their eyes smiled, not one cowboy ended up dead. Now when the crystals stopped smoking, he put them away. And the boss said, "Young feller, you sure saved the day. But as for your cooking, well, it ain't the best looking I've ever seen. Now you might think we're all vegetarians, with our long greasy walks and our dairies, but we've gotta have meat with our beans." Well, this Santa Cruz cowboy with tears in his eyes, he says, "I didn't know you were them kind of guys. If it's true you do it's poor fellow creatures, my heart will break." And the boss says, "Now don't be absurd, kid, 'cause every last skill in this herd, kid, is bound to be turned into steak." Well, this new age cowpuncher with eyes that were wet says, "How can you eat them? Them cows are your pets." And stricken with grief, he fell like a leaf with his eyes so sad. As he lay there all shivering and shaking, they reckoned his poor heart was breaking. Either that or the tofu gone bad. Well, they tried acupuncture to bring him around. They brought chiropractors and psychics from town. They tried Reiki, they rolled him, they went swimming with dolphins to heal his blue. And when his skin turned cold and clammy, they tried neuro-linguistic programming and dowsing with pendulums too. Then finally our hero, he opened his eyes, and he took one last look at them big western skies. And calling his cowboys, he said, "Listen now, boys, to what I say. Don't let my death cause tribulation, 'cause through the wonders of reincarnation, I will come back among you someday." Well, they stayed with him all night, and he died in the morn. And that very same instant, a new calf was born. Now these rough, dirty, suited cowboys were converted to devotees of that calf with two eyes like crystals. Now they'd only eat sagebrush and thistles. No more would they touch meat or cheese. They gave up wearing leather, their chaps and their boots, and they wandered the prairies in their birthday suits. Their lives had been hollow, but now that they follow their calf guru, their vile cowboy ways they repented, and with their new savior contented, they happily chanted out "Moo," which I always like to point out is spelled backwards. It's an important point that not everybody notices. The cowboys have perished like most people do, and their folks got worried. Well, heck, wouldn't you? There's some strange behavior to this weird new savior that made their hearts ache. Knocking out their naked sunburnt and brainwashed. They feared their poor kids had been brainwashed, and that that this sacred cow was a fake. But these parents were clever, and these parents, they were sly. They went to get help from the old FBI. Well, jobs of that description aren't in our jurisdiction, the agent said. If you could just prove that that calf's grown through the use of that there bovine growth hormone, the FDA might help you instead. Well, these poor cowboys' parents, they knew there was no way they would get any help from the old FDA. So in spite of the weather, they all went out together to wear their son's robe. When they saw what their poor kids were doing, sitting naked, cross-legged, and mooing, they caught them and brought them all home. Well, these cowboys got deprogrammed, they forgot their calf god, and they all went right out and got regular jobs. They gave up their 6-shooters for jobs with computers in San Jose. But at night, in their dreams, still they're haunted by these memories that came back unwanted of their calf god so far away. Well, now, folks, I have come to the end of my tale. Just remember, if ever you're out on the trail and you see a strange calf in some western pasture, and you see a strange calf there with peaceful eyes, think on this poor Santa Cruz cowboy. Oh, where does his spirit dwell now, boys? And where do we go when we die? And they call him Crystal Cowboy. He came from Santa Cruz. His blanket, it was tie-dyed, and he never wore no shoes. He rounded up them doggies on mountains like rainbow, and his crystals bright cast a rainbow. Most every storm he'd go.
Right. That was fine.